Berlin is understandably extremely cautious about the idea because a Eurobond, so let's say a Eurobond is an issuance, a bond issued with a mutual guarantee, what's called a joint and several liability. So essentially means if one of the borrowers is not able to repay its debt, then the guarantee is called. And so it's basically giving access to your taxpayers to your neighbor. So obviously that's something absolutely major. And that's not something you can grant just out of sympathy for your neighbors. Because one day it can come back and mean a real liability for your taxpayers. So you have to be extremely cautious, and I understand fully that Berlin is extremely cautious. Now, have they ruled it out entirely? No. The subtext, at least, is it's not something we want to discuss now. It's not something that we can consider without extremely strong guarantees in exchange. But perhaps at the end of the process, perhaps at some point, it's something that needs to be seriously discussed. Now, what we're facing is an extraordinary acceleration of whatever we thought would happen. What we thought would happen in the course of years is now happening in the course of weeks. So this acceleration may also apply to Eurobonds.
And we understand also that some German officials are also working on a parallel plan for Eurobonds, perhaps called something else with different modalities. But can you set out for us how that
the German Council of Economic Experts, so a group of 5 economists who report to the Chancellor, but are fully independent. They do not represent the official view. They have a record of being extremely independent. They've put forward their own idea, and their own idea is instead of saying either you guarantee the totality of the debt of your neighbor or you guarantee only the debt below a certain threshold, they said let's do a redemption fund. That would mean all the debt in excess of 60% would be converted gradually into such Eurobonds. And then there would be a process to serve and to diminish the debt, and in the end it would be extinct. And for that, country would have to allocate tax resources, to earmark tax revenues to service its debt and to repay its debt. So that would mean, in practical terms, that it would be for a long but limited time period. They're speaking of something like 20-25 years for the high debt countries. It means that in the period in which countries would be allowed to issue under this new scheme, so gradually entering this new scheme, they would benefit from it. So let's take Italy, very country with a very high debt. Italy, in fact, would be able for several years to issue under this new scheme, so with a guarantee, so in much better condition, until it reaches the threshold, the quota, and therefore it would give breathing space to Italy for that period. So the attraction here of this scheme is that it's for a certain time period. It's not for the indefinite future, and at the same time it gives this breathing space. I think it would be a way to build trust, to experiment, build trust. For something that on which obviously there are significant reservations.